Hello and welcome to this video series on an introduction to using ICPSR. In this video series, we're going to talk about what is ICPSR, how to create an account through AU, how to find ICPSR data, how to download data, how to use the ICPSR data management system to look at the codebook, use the online data analysis system for ICPSR, and how to find help. ICPSR stands for the Inter-University Consortium for Political and Social Research. It is based at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. ICPSR is essentially a data archive of research in social sciences. It's actually the world's largest, and it contains data in education, justice, demography, substance use, terrorism, among many others. ICPSR provides leadership and training in data access, curation, and methods of analysis for a diverse and expanding social science research community. ICPSR is designed to assist researchers, teachers, and students in teaching or the study of statistical methods, writing scholarly documents, performing secondary research, and how to preserve and distribute primary research data. Since American University is a member of ICPSR, faculty and students have direct and free access to all data applications and support. There are some data files, though, that are considered restricted access, in which proper agreements need to be set into motion. These are typically just a form that needs to be filled out and approved, as well as with the IRB. So what we're first going to do is we're going to go ahead and get to ICPSR and log in. So you want to go to www.icpsr.umich.edu. This is going to be the main page. Now, before we do anything, let's first create an account. So if you're a first-time user, in order to download files from ICPSR archives, you must have an account. To create a My Data account, it's a really simple task. You go to the main page. In the top right corner, there's a login/create account link. Click on that, and then you'll want to go to create an account to create your account information. Once you've created an account, whenever you try to download a data file, you'll be asked to provide your email address and password to log in. So let me go ahead and go back because I already have an account made. And now I am in. Now I can access data. I can download data sets as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to show different ways of looking for data. So under the Find Data tab, there's a lot of different ones. You can actually, if you use thematic data collections, you can look at some different data collections based on themes and organizations. There's also different sponsors here too. This is one approach to looking for different data sets. You can also, under the Find Data, there's popular search terms. You can also look at browse the top requests, the most downloaded. And here's what I mentioned too about the restricted use data. So you can either do search terms like social survey, and we can go ahead and pull up all the results. So it has the studies, it has variables that are considered social survey. There's also data related publications, and you can kind of go from there. You can also browse things by author, geographic location, topic, series, and so forth. So the nice thing too with this is we can go ahead and restriction type. I'm going to use public use data. So I'm just going to start filtering stuff out. Let's say I wanted data from 2014 to the present. That's going to further submit things, or further filter things out. Let's say data availability. Okay, so I want it, so both of these are okay because we are a member. Let's say you wanted a specific data type. I wanted to work with quantitative data. You can also ask what type of data format. So if using SPSS, SAS, Stata, Delimited R, or the online analysis tool. Now, You might find a dataset that you really want to use, but it's not in the proper file format for the data. So you can actually convert that depending on what program you're using, though. So looking at this, let's say that, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one for now. So this tells you a little bit about the principal investigators of this data. This is data from 2003 to 2016. It gives you project summary, and then you can also look at data and documentation. Now, I always recommend starting here because from here you can download the cumulative file. And here you can just go ahead and you can download the questionnaire and the code book and say, okay, make sure that this is what you're looking for. So if it doesn't have the variables of interest or it doesn't have the operarization that you want, you might not want to use it. So the nice thing is that there's a standardized codebook in here that mentions all the variables, the years, the response rates, so you get an idea of what the data is going to look like and the levels of it, all the variables here too. What we can also do, let me go back one step. We can look at the variables. So it gives you the label questions, the type, and that these are all in DS1 or the dataset number. For data documentation too, we can go ahead and if we wanted to, we can preview. I'm going to go ahead and preview the questionnaire as a PDF. So that way I can look exactly what the instructions were, look at how things were coded, how things were scored, and so forth. It looks like for 8, they used a don't know. So it's always critical to look at the code books, the questionnaires, and all the relevant information to make sure that the data is relevant for your research and to understand how the data is structured. There's also a really nice tab here too. So if you didn't want to download, these are all the different options. They can download the data in. Always download the documentation in addition to the data. That way you have it together rather than having to go back later on and locate things. So these are the different formats the data is in. You can also click on the Analyze one here too. So if you analyze online, it's going to open up a web browser and you can look and analyze the data without needing to download the data. However, this is not available for all data sets. So once you go ahead and agree to this, then it provides different analyses. You can create variables. You can then download information here. So it gives you some basic options. If you wanted to download the dataset, I'm going to go ahead and download this as an R file. So once you've read through all the terms of use for your particular dataset and agree to this, it's going to go ahead and create a zip file. Let me go ahead and open that one up. And so we have the terms of use, related literature. There's also the manifest document, which is essentially saying a little bit about the data sets here too. There's some information there. Whoops, apologies. Did not mean to move the share screen option. Let me go ahead and close out of that. But then I can also go ahead and open up the R file. And then the R file has all the information there to then go ahead and start pulling that information in. If you wanted to do something more like SPSS or Stata, you click on the corresponding one. Let's say we wanted SPSS. Go to DS, we have our code book, our questionnaire, that all came packaged with, as well as our data set. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the data set really quick, just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, and so now it is loading, and we have our corresponding data set with all our variable views, our coded values. So we'd really want to have the codebook next to us as we go through this, just to better understand how everything is coded. We'll exit out of that. So after downloading data, if you have questions or trouble using it, you can contact the official representative at American University. That's me, Dr. Eric Schuler. My email, I'll go ahead and pull this information up. My email is eschuler@american.edu, and I'm one of the official representatives for ICPSR. Now, what we can also do before we conclude this video is I want to talk a little bit about where to also get some help here too, through the different features. So there's a built-in help link. There's also the data management curation if you're interested in different options here too. So if you click on this help link here, this is going to bring you to various FAQs. So they have point instructions on how to use this during the COVID pandemic. We have FAQs on access. So if you have questions about how to access it, how to analyze it specifically, concerns related to downloads, general questions. There's also a whole series of video presentations on YouTube. And below there too, there's their local support information. So the official representative, that's me, and all my information. We also have a designated representative too. So these are fantastic resources as well. Well, this concludes this video. I hope this was helpful, and enjoy.